Hey y'all, happy Monday. I've been up. It's 4 a.m. right now. I've been up since 2. And I so often just wake up at this time and I'm just up. There's just nothing I can do about it. It's going to always be fun in the afternoon when it hits me. But that's all right. Life is good. Sometimes I get a little drowsy in the afternoon. But if I get my 5 hours at night, I'm fine. But in the back of my mind, I've been thinking I need to do this video. I need to do this video about fakeness, this world, the fake versus the authentic. And I said recently in a video, in the last or so, about how people are going to start to crave for authentic. It's almost going to be like that verse. I think it's Amos 8:11. The Mandela effect has claimed that verse for themselves about how truth, the word of God, will be like a famine. You won't be able to find truth. You won't be able to find the word of God. You won't. I'm saying truth, and it says, the voice of the Lord, whatever. Go back and read it. I can't quote it off the top of my head, but basically a famine in the land. I mean, you won't be able to find it. You won't be able to find truth because there'll be a famine in the land for that spiritual truth, that what is true. It's so appropriate nowadays. The information that we get is so freaking polluted. That maybe we should, we were just talking about light pollution the other day. Maybe we need to have that term applied to just information and truth, just info pollution or truth pollution. It's just, I guess truth pollution is just lies, but info pollution. We are in the age of pollution. We are in the age of info pollution, of you can't tell anything if it's true anymore. We're starving for the authentic. We're thirsting for truth and true information, and yet we cannot find it. Everywhere we turn, we get duped by, or we get fooled by crappy imitations of the truth. This is like so prevalent in this time. One of the things that happened in the conversation that I had in my God encounter back in September 23rd, 2016, was a very clear, very clear message to remain authentic, to be sincere, to be truthful in all that I do. That was very, very clear. And I didn't realize back then how important that message would be until this current time that we're in. It makes so much sense. Nearly a decade ago, God is telling me that it's important to remain authentic, real, sincere. That message of how important it was for our soul, that it's a quality inside of us that we need to cling to before we lose it. That is what is at risk now with AI and the fakeness. I mean, does AI have a soul? Does AI cling to being authentic? What the heck? Sorry for the pop-up. I don't know if that's going to record or not, but pop-ups. Is it authentic in any way? It doesn't know authentic. It doesn't know how to be sincere. It is the ultimate confident liar. That's what AI really, when you unfold it is incredibly good at confidently lying. So, you all know when Sora 2 recently came out, all these videos instantly hit the internet that were just completely fabricated by AI. Some of them were very funny, grant you, but completely made up. And the very next day, my wife is on Facebook and she sees this video that was completely Sora, but she was fooled by it because she thought this was real. It looked so real. And I told her that's completely AI made. And she was like, little, well. So now, she doesn't believe anything, like anything that I tell her. Oh, that's fake. That's AI. It's like I created a monster because I told her she was fooled by AI, and now she won't believe anything that I tell her. It's all, of course, AI. And that's where we are right now in this present day. And I've been thinking about this for a while, how we are moving into a famine in the land for truth. We are moving into a famine in the land for knowing if anything's real. And news is batshit crazy. I mean, everything we see is so nuts. The only way to get grounded is to get back into your own personal life and just get grounded with what's inside of you and with the relationships that are directly there. The whole of the outside world is just getting so bizarre. It's beyond anything I ever imagined growing up that the world would be at this level. And we've so slowly adapted to it. We've so slowly been cooking in the world of BS, and we're just taking it. Now, when the Mandela effect first was popularized back in 2015, 2016, that's when I really saw it hit the internet. There was, right around that time, and of course Flat Earth was big, right around that time there was a big push, you recall. It's still out there a little bit, but it's not nearly as much. Interestingly, it's not. But the big push around that time was to stop fake news, to stop people from putting crap out on the internet that was a complete lie. It was a plea for people to just please be authentic. And, of course, the people who want to control and mind control use that plea for truth and to stop fake news. They use that as a way to shut down ideas that oppose their ideas. And they used it to shut down people who are posting very authentic experiences. And they were all, basically it just became censorship. To the extreme it became. We saw the height of censorship during the events of 2020, 2021. We saw censorship to such an extreme. You couldn't say anything without being dubbed fake. Even if you were completely honest, you could not, it didn't fit the agenda, it was fake. That's how it worked. So fake news was basically a manipulation phrase, and we saw it used against us. We were all clubbed like baby seals if we tried to say anything that would oppose the agenda, the communist agenda that was being pushed. And now we see the pendulum swinging the opposite. The pendulum now is pushed to where anything goes, but who's pushing it? And who's trying to stop fake news now? Is anybody even concerned about AI fake news and how it is polluting our source that for a long time was a good source of sharing information amongst ourselves? AI is so polluting the water of truth, we can't go to it anymore. And it's sad. I can't cite articles anymore because it means nothing to people. I can't show a video anymore. I can't show a picture. None of it has quality anymore. We've cheapened our resource of information so much we cannot use it. It's dead. So I can't even show you it. I can't display an image to you anymore and you not question. I can't even show you a video and you not question, is this real? And that's why I've said, or that's why I was told, authenticity, sincerity, truthfulness is a core thing that we are going to want to cling to, because in the days of this famine, people are going to search it. And I think people like myself and anybody else who's been on YouTube for many years trying to share our experiences, which are crazy, but we've kept them truthful. We haven't tried to clickbait or be sensationalized, and it's tempting to do so because if you want to grow an audience, you almost had to. But if you kept it truthful, and you can see that history of that person going back in time, I think people are going to start looking for these channels of people that have been around on YouTube for a while. You might be looking for the smallest channels out there, just hoping to find one that's authentic and not pushing slop and not pushing garbage. So that's going to make channels like myself It's going to make Matt's channel, Quantum Consciousness. It's going to make Dan's channel, Scarab Performance. It's going to make all of these channels that have been pushing truth and authenticity. It's going to make them more valuable, and people are going to seek it out. And I wonder how much YouTube definitely YouTube has tried to suppress. Absolutely, without a doubt. The algorithm or the AR or whatever is behind that scene, the demon, has definitely tried to suppress these channels. So it's interesting because my channel is built around the God experience, and 5 days after that, being asked, what do I want to know? And I asked to be shown something about reality that, God would like me to know. What do you know? I don't care. Just show me. I'm just curious. Tell me something you think I should know. Mandela effect that same day. I mean, it wasn't me digging on the internet looking for some information. It popped into my world. It was, it rained on me so crazily in the most, I could recount the stories, but bottom line is I was shown that reality. Sorry. Let me get a drink of water. All right, 11 minutes in, 11 in fact. I have to stop and pause to get my bearings here, but I was shown that this reality is absolutely, completely a construct, and it can be changed. It's malleable. It's not, it's just not fixed. It's not grounded. And that was the message of the Mandela effect. And so many people were trying to shut down any testimony of the Mandela effect and labeling it as fake news. However, I and many others were sharing our absolute truthful testimonies of what we were experiencing. And back then, you might recall, I did this video, and it was, is it real or is it Memorex? And it's fitting some of these Mandela effects to the time, the age that we live in. Of course, this is AI generating the response, but when you type in, is it real or is it Memorex, it says a famous advertising slogan from the 70s and the 80s, 1980s, for Memorex cassette tapes. It became a popular cultural catchphrase used to question if something is authentic or a high-quality imitation, much like the slogan's original intent to test whether a recorded sound was indistinguishable from a live performance. You can watch this video to see the original commercial featuring Ella Fitzgerald. Okay, now if you watch that video, and if you watch any of the classic commercials around Memorex, it's not going to say, is it real or is it Memorex? But that is the memory I have, is it real? But it actually says, is it live? It's a distinguishing difference in that tagline. Which brings me to the interesting thing is, when the truth gatekeepers were coming on strong, the events around 7-Eleven, the 7-Eleven job application, and as Matt coined that phrase, we have to speak in code because we get shut down if we don't speak in code. We get shut down. And so you have to speak in code, which is sad, but this is the world we live in, and we can't talk about the 7-Eleven job application without getting shut down. It's odd, though. I find other people on social media platforms like this, for some reason, they're being allowed to get away with it. I do not understand it. Sorry, I did pause for a moment. As I was saying, anything you tried to say around certain events, especially the 7-Eleven job application, was shut down, canceled, deleted. Your channel was deleted. So many videos have been lost because of these channel deletions. So much information has been lost, or it's in some compressed file somewhere. But truth, and who owns that truth? The companies who own that previous truth, the companies that have this in lockdown, they are the same ones pushing AI slop, AI deception, AI crap. They are the same ones that are unleashing it upon this world in abundance with no control, no oversight, there's nobody saying, wait, this should not be. And we are jumping forward into this age of complete, you could say deception. Maybe this is the great deception because you cannot find truth. But the interesting thing is, and this is the reason I'm thinking about it, I was telling my wife the other day that I found this video that's like uploaded 18 years ago. 18 years ago, this video was uploaded. It's got almost 5 million views. And it's about George W. on the 7-Eleven, on the day of the 7-Eleven job application. George W. is sitting in this classroom. And you all know, the iPet goat stuff. And, he's sitting in this classroom with all these kids, and the teacher's giving the lesson, not giving the 11. And literally moments, seconds before the famous moments where George W. gets whispered in the ear, and that's the moment we are told he was notified what's going on. Like, this is supposed to be his big surprise. Like, he didn't know, right? Okay. These words from these children precede that moment, which is really amazing. And I keep saying it doesn't mean it's a man-orchestrated conspiracy. It could be. Certainly it could. All of this could be like at our level, as Matt likes to say, in the back boardroom or whatever. In the back room, these people who control the world are smoking cigars and laying out how this is all going to roll out. But, you could say this is a man-made orchestrated coincidence. But I think we've seen enough coincidences in this reality that are absolutely crazy, that are not AI, that are not fake news. We have proven there's crazy coincidences in this reality that can only have been orchestrated by something that's pulling the strings of reality itself, bending its malleable nature. I was really into researching the 7-Eleven job application around 2008. And I invested so many hours into investigating everything about it. And honestly, this is one that escaped me, or it has been added to our reality. And as crazy as that sounds, I've seen edits to our reality. I've seen additions. So I can't say. All I can say is that when I told my wife this the other day, the first thing out of her mouth is, I don't believe it. That's AI. That's fake. I was like, this is the problem. This is the problem we find ourselves in. You cannot share anything anymore. We are in the complete famine in the land for truth. You cannot find it online for sure. And you can't even tell, in casual conversation, you can't tell one person or another. If you don't experience it for yourself, you just don't know anymore. But anyway, I told her interesting words were uttered almost in a symbolic ceremony right before George W. And I'm told that the same guy that was filming or taking photographs of George W. in that classroom was the same guy that took that epic picture, that completely sincere and authentic, not fabricated in any way picture of Trump at the famous ear-piercing event, standing under the flag with his right arm sticking in the air, surrounded by the cowering Secret Service in black all around him. That was not staged in any way. The same guy who took that picture was in this classroom taking pictures. That's what I'm told. And you can vet that. I remember that coming up back during that event. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But what are these words that are uttered by the children? First, you'll see them, and I'll probably have to drop a link for this one because I don't even want to repeat the title. But first you see them reaching under their desk to pull up their books. Now, why they need a book for this moment makes no sense. Why would they need a book when none of them are looking at their book? They're looking at a chalkboard or whatever. They're looking at the teacher. They're repeating what the teacher's telling them to say. It's very chant-like. It's very ritualistic. And then when they're done, after these few seconds of chanting, they bend down like they're bowing again to put their books under their desk. There's no purpose for the book. Makes no sense at all. But the words, and I told my wife this, the words that were uttered right before George W. is told was, okay, now kite is the actual first one. There's 5 words. Kite, which I'm going to just toss that one aside. You could say it sounds like height or something else, but it's kite, clearly kite. But the next words that follow, that's truly, that's truly amazing. Right before, considering the event that occurred, the 7-Eleven job application event, the words are hit, steal, plane, must. In true Yoda, speech, hit, steal, plane, must. So let's take a moment just to hear that. Let me play it for you. Okay, I'm going to turn my speakers up best I can. You're going to hear a lot of cameras clicking because this is the big event. But the first thing the teacher says is, okay, boys and girls, pick up your readers from under your seat. Of course, they're looking at her, so let's see.
Ready? Must. Yes, must. Boys and girls, pick your reader up from under your seat. Open your book up to lesson 60 on page 153.
Hold on.
Yes. Read these words the fast way. What word? Hit. Yes. At the end, and remember the sound it makes. Get ready to read all these words on this page without making a mistake. Look at the letter at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready. Hi.
All right, I wasn't paused, so I'm trying to find this place in the video.
Get ready to read all these words on this page without making a mistake. Look at the letter at the end and remember the sound it makes. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready to read this word the fast way. Get ready. Kid. Yes, kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. Sound it out. Get ready. Kid. What word? Kid. Yes, kid. Boys and girls, sound this word out. Get ready. Steal. What word? Steal. Yes, steal. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Playing. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready. Kit. Yes, kit. Get ready. Steal. Yes, steal. Get ready. Playing. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Boys and girls, pick your reader up from under your seat. Open your...
All right, so I had that backwards. They pick up the reader from under their seat right after they get done, but it looks like they're bowing. And the words are clearly, remember, this was uploaded 18 years ago. And, and that's just this upload. The event itself happened in, the great day of this occurring, but it is hit, steal, plane, must. Very clearly, I looked at Reddit forums and different forums, people discussing it, and there's really no question about whether or not this video is fake. There's question or whether this actually occurred, but there's people debating that it means nothing. It's just a coincidence that those words being uttered right before it means absolutely nothing. There's just a denial that there's anything odd here. A lot of people push, the defenders of reality. The defenders of batshit crazy reality, they're saying there's nothing to look at here, which I say there's absolutely something to look at. But that's when you try to tell anybody something's off or odd or too coincidental to be believed. Now it's so easy to hear that's made up. That's AI. That's not true. And we don't have a good grounding place. And it's only getting worse at rapidly fast. I mean, it's just started, and I can see that it won't be long before nothing will be sacred. Everything will be questioned. All right, I've probably gone on long enough about this, but I'll let you run. Have a great day. Thanks for your comments. God bless.